And welcome back to Sunday Square Off. Joe Arpaio is back in the game, and he is shaking up the Republican primary for the U.S. Senate. Senator Jeff Flake said he couldn't win a primary in the Donald Trump era, so he retired. And he's being proved right as the three candidates compete for Trump's love. But will this primary take the winner so far to the right that the Republican Party will be a loser come November? Joining us this morning for a left-right debate, on the right, Nathan Sproul of Lincoln Strategy Group, and on the left, Marilyn Rodriguez of Creosote Partners. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Let's look at the latest poll numbers. Republican primary voters, here's what they think of the candidates based on a poll by Data Orbital. Congresswoman Martha McSally of Tucson leads the field with 31% support. Former Sheriff Joe Arpaio is at 22%. Former state legislator Kelly Ward at 19%. 27% of respondents were undecided. But look at Maricopa County, Joe Arpaio's home turf for 24 years as sheriff. McSally leads Arpaio 28% to 22%. Kelly Ward is at 20%. Let's focus on those numbers. Do they tell you McSally is the favorite to win, or if there were just two candidates, she might lose? Nathan.
I think it's a little bit of both. Right now there's three candidates, so the two candidate situation is a hypothetical. But I think your Maricopa statistic is right. The people who know Arpaio the best like him the least. And that is a significant advantage for McSally. And I think this race clearly at this point favors her dramatically.
Yeah, I think what these numbers remind us, again, is that Joe Arpaio is a criminal who has victimized and terrorized countless Arizona Latino families. And he was convicted of intentionally violating a court order directing him to stop profiling these communities. So the voters spoke loud and clear in 2016. And the final point I'll add to that is that if the Republican Party wants to influence and increase Latino voter turnout in 2018, then they should nominate Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, what about that? He is a great turnout
I agree.
mechanism for Latinos.
But I think the big loser, though, over the last couple of weeks has been Kelly Ward. Arpaio gets into the race and he sucks the oxygen completely out of the room. It's going to be very difficult for her to reestablish herself. And right before he gets in the race, Steve Bannon has his difficulties with Trump, which was going to be her great white knight. Now he's out of the picture. She's got a very difficult road ahead at this point.
Bram, I would argue that the big loser might be the Republican Party. I'm old enough to remember a time when the Republican primary was a contest over conservative values. And what it has become is a contest for the attention of one man, Donald Trump, and his loyalists.
What?
I'm not sure that. I'm not sure.
Well, what about that? Because McSally has kind of she surprised me. We did not see this side of Martha McSally, grow a pair of ovaries plus other language I can't repeat on TV, but she's happy to say. We didn't see this Martha McSally as she represented that swing district in Tucson. She's going way into the Trump corner.
I think the rhetoric and the one that you so artfully put forward was a little bit questionable, to be perfectly candid. I think maybe her folks are going to tone that back a little bit. But I think on the bigger part, when she goes out and defends the record of the last 12 months with the Republican Congress and what she would do as a U.S. Senator, there's a lot to run on. Tax reform is clearly at the top of that list. And the U.S. economy is a major issue that she will have success with in the general election.
But is this tone, if she does advance to the general election, is this tone going to help, whether it's Kirsten Sinema or Deidre Aboud, in the general election?
I don't think so, Bram, no. This Republican Party, the way that the candidates are acting and totally changing their personalities, it's not normal, it's disturbing, and it's not how a party should be acting in a democracy.
And we've seen this move before, candidates moving to the left or right in the primary and then tacking back to the center in the general.
I don't think this is moving to the left or right. Again, they're vying for the attention of one person. This isn't about principles. This is about attention from Donald Trump.
I would respectfully disagree with that. I think Martha McSally's campaign is going to be about the issues. And to the extent that she has alignment with Donald Trump, she'll point that out. But there's not going to be perfect alignment. I do agree, though, that in the case of Ward and Arpaio, they are certainly trying to do that 100% of the time.
Will both Ward and Arpaio still be on the ballot come August? Or will one of them drop out?
You'd have to ask them that question. I think both of them are stubborn enough that they're going to stick it out and see what happens. And I think it'll be extremely interesting. And in the case of Arpaio, I always say that this is like a Weekend at Bernie's 30 years later. And so we'll see where he is in a year.
Think they'll all be on the ballot?
I have no idea what is going on that side of the ballot.
As a Democrat, do you hope they'll all be on the ballot?
Yes, it'll be interesting to watch, as it has been this entire time.
All right, Nathan Sproul, Marilyn Rodriguez, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
When we come back, Arizona's opioid crisis, why it's the #1 topic at the Capitol this week.